In a town so quiet you could hear a pin drop, lived a postman named Mr. Pumble. He was the kindest soul you'd ever meet, with a smile as bright as the morning sun. But Mr. Pumble had a tiny problem. He was terribly forgetful. He'd scribble notes in a little book, only to forget where he'd put the book itself. His red bicycle was a familiar sight, wobbling cheerfully down cobblestone streets, delivering mail, often to the completely wrong address. One sunny afternoon, a party invitation meant for the mayor ended up in the hands of a lonely widow. Hesitantly, she went to the party and, to her surprise, had the most wonderful time of her life. Watching all of this from her bakery window was Lily. She was new to town, and her sharp eyes didn't miss a thing. She noticed these little mix-ups weren't causing chaos, but something far more magical. Later that day, Lily received a letter that wasn't for her. It was a catalogue for rare flower seeds, addressed to the town's grumpiest resident, Mr. Miller. Just as she was about to correct the mistake, she saw Mr. Fisher, the town's cheerful fisherman, walk by, glanced at the catalogue in her hand, and let out a wistful sigh. An idea began to sprout in Lily's mind. Soon after, a distraught Mr. Pumble came into the bakery, wringing his hands. "To Lily, I've done it again. I'm making a mess of everything." But Lily didn't scold him. She just smiled warmly. "Mr. Pumble," she said, her voice full of kindness, "what if your forgetfulness isn't a mistake? What if ... it's a gift?" She leaned in and whispered a secret plan, a plan to use his mistakes to deliver not just letters, but a little bit of happiness. Their first target, the feud between the grumpy gardener, Mr. Miller, and the cheerful fisherman, Mr. Fisher. They hadn't spoken in years after a bitter falling out. Lily knew Mr. Fisher missed his old friend dearly. So, with a little nudge from Lily, a postcard from Mr. Fisher's favorite fishing spot was accidentally delivered to Mr. Miller. The message was simple. "The bass are biting. Wish you were here, old friend." Mr. Miller stared at the card for a long, long time. For the first time in years, the frost around his heart began to thaw. Next, a letter from Mr. Miller's daughter, filled with pictures of his grandkids, found its way into Mr. Fisher's mailbox. In the letter, his daughter had written, "Dad seems so lonely since he stopped talking to you." Mr. Fisher looked at the smiling faces of the children, and his heart ached for the friend he'd lost. The simple, misdelivered items were saying more than words ever could. But the magic didn't stop there. Mr. Pumble's delightful errors began to ripple through the entire town, all thanks to Lily's secret guidance. A book on advanced baking techniques landed in the hands of the town carpenter. Inspired, he built a beautiful new display shelf for Lily's bakery, free of charge. A sheet of music intended for the choir director was delivered to the blacksmith. He started humming the tune as he worked, his hammer strikes keeping a cheerful rhythm that brightened his entire workshop. The town, once a collection of quiet houses, was becoming a tapestry of new connections. People were talking more, helping each other, and smiling at strangers. all because their mail was getting wonderfully, beautifully mixed up. The town was becoming more intertwined, more lively, and no one knew that the source of this newfound joy was the town's forgetful postman and the clever baker's daughter. The mistakes were no longer seen as problems, but as happy little accidents that brought unexpected warmth into everyone's day. Lily then learned that the next day marked the anniversary of the big argument between Mr. Miller and Mr. Fisher. This was their chance. She prepared the most important misdelivery yet, a final piece of the puzzle to mend their broken friendship. The next morning, guided by Lily's gentle instructions, Mr. Pumble rode his red bicycle straight to Mr. Miller's house. He handed him a small, carefully wrapped package. The label was perfectly clear. For Mr. Fisher. Mr. Miller grumbled, annoyed at having to do the postman's job. He stomped over to Mr. Fisher's house, package in hand, ready to give him a piece of his mind. But when he arrived, he found Mr. Fisher sitting on his porch, not angry, but quiet. In his hands were the photos of Mr. Miller's grandchildren. An awkward silence hung between them, thick with years of unspoken words. Finally, Mr. Fisher broke the silence. He held up the photos. "You have a beautiful family," he said softly. Mr. Miller looked down at the package in his own hand, a brand new gardening trowel. He held it out. "Your old one was rusted," he mumbled. "I noticed." And just like that, the dam of silence broke. They didn't need grand apologies or long explanations. The misdelivered photos and the simple trowel had said everything their stubborn pride couldn't. The story ends at the town's summer festival. The whole community is there, buzzing with a newfound energy. And in the center of it all, laughing together, are Mr. Miller and Mr. Fisher. Their gardens, once separated by a fence and a feud, are now merged into one beautiful, sprawling space of flowers and friendship. Mr. Pumble is called to the stage as the guest of honor. He pulls out his notes, looks at the crowd, and completely forgets what he was going to say. But instead of awkward silence, the whole town erupts in warm, affectionate laughter. From the crowd, Lily gives him a little wink. He might be the forgetful postman, but this town would never forget how he, in his own wonderful, mixed-up way, delivered everyone's heart to exactly the right address. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more heartwarming tales. See you next time.